You're welcome back to Breakfast Central. It's now time for newspaper front pages, and we have with us in the studio for the first time in the calendar year of 2026, Mr. Sesan Okunade, very vibrant and brilliant analyst, and also an avid golfer. And chartered accountant.
Chartered accountant. I mean, we've not seen him since last year. Can you imagine?
Since last year.
Yeah, I was saying it too, that since last year, that's over a year.
Yeah, that's over a year.
2025 to 2026.
It's good to see you this...
It's a great thing to be with you this morning.
Beautiful Wednesday morning. You're looking very bright and sharp.
Yeah, it's a new year. We just have to do that irrespective of whatever it is that is... out there. Let's start the year.
And irrespective of what Donald Trump is doing around the world. But let's get straight to our newspapers. We'll start off with the front page of the leadership newspapers. Leadership newspapers.
All right, let's start with leadership, yeah. The leadership does...
Yes. The leadership front page says, Turkey upbeat as Jonathan meets People's Democratic Party officials. I wonder what this meeting is all about. But I think that's a good place to start. And then we'll move around. The leadership newspaper. The courts have said, INEC said, you know, they don't recognize any faction or group of the People's Democratic Party, and now we're having this meeting with former President Goodluck Jonathan. What's your interpretation of this and the fact that Jonathan is meeting with this group and not the Wike endorsed group? Does it send some sort of signals on legitimacy?
Yeah, well, I won't say it sends any signal of legitimacy. President Jonathan, the former president of the country, is an elder statesman in PDP. Who will want to see a way of balancing whatever that is happening between the two factions. So he's meeting with the Turaki faction now. I'm sure there will definitely be a period where he will organize meeting. You hear from both sides. The question I asked myself is, where were the elder statesmen when this issue was actually happening, that has actually degenerated into where neither of the party was actually being recognized? Don't forget that we've discussed this severally here, that it will get to that level that the center will not hold itself. This one will write, the other one will write, and INEC, it will look as if you are throwing something on the system and it's getting confused of the command that you are giving to him. And that's what we're experiencing now. So we believe that those elder statesmen in the party, the likes of Jonathan, even though Baba claimed that he has dropped his card, Baba Basanjo, that is no longer, I'm sure he's one of the people they still recognize and respected. Maybe what we will see more is that since Turaki is actually looking for a way to get attention of this president, they too will look at the other faction, will seek solace in having another leader. Then the old leaders will now bring every one of them together, because a lot of us will continue to say that as a nation, we need formidable opposition party. I listened to one of them this morning, not for anything, but at least to come out with the other side, you know, of what your party feel they can do better if they are not winning the election. I think whichever party that won will be able to borrow leave and say, okay, this party has some of these things, because all centered about the people, the citizen, and we can all move together to grow our nation.
Sit on the front page of the leadership newspapers. 5.36 million electricity customers remain unmetered, says regulator. That means they're on estimated billing. It's quite a huge amount. And then the front page says, we won't endorse any presidential candidate, says Arawa leaders. Do you believe this? Or it's too early?
It's too early to say this. Why wouldn't they endorse? They will definitely, towards the end of the whole thing, look for a way to have a candidate that they will pitch their tent with. This is too early to make this.
And how influential, if eventually they do endorse a candidate, how influential do you think their endorsements will be?
Yeah, well, their endorsement will count. What do I mean? The northern region, from the national census that we have, seems to have more numbers, and they play a prominent role in deciding, you know, whosoever they consolidate with, when the North consolidate with the Southwest, at least there is some level of consolidation there is hope for that person. If they try to do with Southeast and South-South, there might be hope. So they play a very strategic game, and that's why you will see a lot of people looking at a way to actually either pull, when they are not leading, they make sure that they are the vice because of the number. Because politics is about number, but the influence of the Arewa leaders, that I may not be able to see, because a lot of people are coming out as strongholds that can use their base to galvanize for the position for the next election. So let's see how it plays, but it's too early for them to say they are not pitching 10. It's just being political by saying that as we are, nothing we are going with, but on the tail end, they must definitely endorse someone that everybody will follow.
Okay, let's quickly, before we move to another paper, take this health issues, very important. 1,119 Lassa fever cases, 206 deaths recorded in 2025. And then on the left-hand side of the leadership newspaper, you have resident doctors pick holes in federal government's claim, insist on January 12th strike. They've been dragging this for quite some time. And 2 days ago, we had the pleasure of speaking with the president of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Suleiman, and said, you know, the federal government has not fulfilled their own part of the agreement, and they've been having a series of talks. And all they have to do is, you know, sometimes issue letters and carry out directives that they have both agreed on, but there seems to be working at snail pace. And NARD is not the only one threatening to go on strike. We also have other government workers in different sectors that are threatening to go on strike. What do you make of this? And is this something we have to live with? Threats of strikes, people complain about work environment and pay and issues like this. It's the beginning of the new year.
Yeah, it is the beginning of the new year, and Benga, it's quite worrisome to me that it's strike that we are actually asking. There is a particular question I always asked myself, maybe based on my little knowledge as a business owner. When you go into agreement with people, there are documents that have been signed. Is it that we don't read through some of these clauses that the other party are actually putting before you before endorsing it? Because the way I grew up, starting with the bank, my career in the banking sector, when you endorse a particular document, it shows your commitment in fulfilling your own side of the contract. So when people come up and tell you that those things you have signed into, you are changing goalposts, it definitely speaks to your integrity as an individual, your integrity even as government. I know some people might say this was not signed into by maybe this current administration, but we know that governance is a continuum the way it is. So I feel we should look at this area. These are part of the things people are actually calling out to say the government is looking in the area of revenue generation, but how much are they committed to social contract and making sure that we have our health sector functioning the way it should be, the education sector functioning the way it should be, the power sector functioning the way it should be, which will make me address that particular thing. So many suggestions has actually been given even to the ministry. If we've gone the area of MAP, we've gone the area of MSP service, and the gap's still building. And one thing I can tell you about power is that people will continue to construct houses. They will continue to require meters. Meter will continue to get bad or malfunction. So it's a potential that we have out there. And we've suggested, even to the regulators, what is bad in you actually franchising under each disco to manage some of these things under the sub-metering aspect of it, where people who have the wherewithal. Take, for example, give somebody an estate and say, okay, this transformer that is here, it's owned to you. I will pay you certain commission. All you need to do is to make sure that I will give you just one bill. That is what I get from the transformer, and how you actually take care of that with the citizen. And that's why you see a lot of people going into that partnership to say, okay, we will not only provide you with the national grid, we can provide alternative power supply and give 24 hours, and let's come to a common ground. So you will not do that without having meter in place. No business owner will actually do that. So with that, we can reduce the number. A particular disco tried that franchising, and today we are not even seeing the head from the tail. I feel that is the route to go, because the only measure, why they will come up and tell us that we have so much outstanding on the part of customer paying, when you don't have the accurate way of billing me, you are giving me estimated billing. Both parties are losing. It's either you're overestimating or you are underestimating. When you underestimate, you are not having the expected revenue of what is expected of you. Plan. And when, as an individual, I feel that you are overestimating me, I will not pay the right thing I'm supposed to pay. So you can open up the business, allowing the disco to actually committed their resources, ask people to have a buy-in. So you can look at the dedicated transformer by transformer and say, okay, we are giving you this area to manage. The man copes it, he goes ahead, invests in it to make sure that he has all the cobwebs of all these electricity cables, tidy up, and he ventured into that particular thing and said, okay, this is what the disco is going to charge, and this is the commission I'm getting from them. And he assisted to tidy up the area, to close this metering gap, because we will continue to discuss it. I read on one of the headlines this morning talking about subsidy gulping so much, even in that sector. And I'm asking myself,
that's the power sector. They said power sector over 12 or something trillion.
2 trillion. And I'm still paying so much.
And a lot of people are part of the thing. And that's why we keep telling them.
Sorry to buzz, and not forgetting to that there's a missing money as well in the sector.
That's why, you see, a lot of us that are actually looking at this change with the reforms the government are bringing are being attacked. Because government day by day keep creating this trust deficit. Can we come out with the fact, speaking to the subsidy on the part of the country, when you told us that it is cost reflective tariff you are operating, where some people are paying, neck cutting tariff.
Using the bank.
Using those banks to actually, and now you're still saying so much subsidy. Can we come out with variable, verifiable, facts to say, okay, we are subsidizing for tariff E, tariff D, that will tell you that they are not even getting supply. I travel in the course of there are some discos that I ask myself, are people existing in some of this area? So these are things I feel that the government just need to address so that you can build the trust that is expected.
Let's take this call. We have a caller. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Oh, hello? I guess we missed that call. Okay, if he's able to connect again, we'd like to take your call. Let's go to the Punch newspaper. I don't want us to waste so much time on the power sector because there's a lot. They're looking for XYZ amount of money that's missing. They said they are owing in subsidies. People don't have enough meter. So what is really going on?
Even those that are on band A are complaining that they are not getting the needed service as promised of 20 hours per day.
The Punch newspaper on the front there, 2027, Jonathan pledged active role in PDP, says Turaki. We can see Turaki there. So much felicity, laughing and spending time with the former president. Banditry, police free 6 vigilantes arrested by army. We also have a very sad one, GNI fire, 3 siblings burned to death for a burial January 14. A very sad, that GNI fire incident, a sad one.
Very
3
sad.
siblings.
Tragic.
Ekiti poll, opposition parties threaten boycott over PDP exclusion. Let's look at this one. VIP protection crisis, NSCDC moves to recruit 30,000 officers. What's your take on that?
Is it because of the VIP crisis, and what's the constitutional role of the NSCDC? And these 30,000 officers, are they recruiting them to fight for VIP escort duties, or to do their constitutional mandate?
Yeah, I think when NSCDC was actually set up, they had to man the pipelines and some other area to provide support to the regular police in area where they need to do. But with this new entrance of saying we are withdrawing police from the VIP and we are putting that to NSCDC, the question I ask myself, why do we overprotect some of these VIPs?
That's why they're VIPs. Very important.
That's why they call it.
Very important personalities should have the
Not
luxury.
ordinary personalities.
We realize that, and that's why we give them that status.
No.
VIP. VIP should have the confidence to move around the people that gave them that status. The people should be their protection if actually they are doing the right thing, and not using the people that will be recruited to actually attack those they claim they are VIP on. That's my position on
this. That's a good analogy. It's like a full circle.
Yeah.
So the people put you in power, you get into power, you employ a certain people from the same circle
set
of the people that put you in power. These ones end up protecting you and protecting you from the people
that put you to power.
And then use the same people that you picked from the same selection to attack the people who picked.
It's quite not just, it doesn't make sense. And that's why for me, if you are doing the right thing, people protect. I've seen instances. I was somewhere, you know, the guys that a lot of people will consider are miscreants. There are some of them that are very intelligent.
Yeah, I've spoken to a few.
You just, that particular day, somebody took my car out of my place, and they were asking him questions, you know, and he was like, leave the road. I would say, this is our gas car now. Is it that you've stolen the vehicle? He will not talk like this. And he will not even associate himself with people like this that will not respect, you know, people. You think that we are there. And they stopped that vehicle, called me on my phone and said, oh, guy, are you okay? We can see your car here. Is it that they stole it or what happened? And I said, no, he's actually my friend. He said, this one is not your friend. He's telling us that we use your vehicle to crush us. And I said, guy, when I called him, I said, guy, you don't do that. And what are the things? Where you are, you contribute your own quota to make their life better. They will protect you beyond what the NSDC, CDC will do, because they know that with your safety, their own future is guaranteed. And that's why we always tell the politician, do what is needful. Allow their children to go to school, so that even if you have failed their parent, the children will not go in line with what they have done. A lot of them want to struggle and send their children to private school that they cannot afford. And if you give room for public school, that the children have the best of quality education, what you get out of it is that the children will say, this particular person that gave us, you know, a good future need not to be touched. But in fact, you won't think of harming them, where they will be seeking for special protection. But because they know what they're doing, all they look out for is special protection. I don't know how many they will actually give to Joe. I'm sure you know he's a VIP in his own.
No, I'm not. I enter my boss, so I use public transport, my brother. I use public transport, so I'm not. Transport? Yes, I do. And when people say, your face looks familiar, I say it's not me. They always, I tell them, they always tell me that. You know,
that maybe it's your twin brother.
So, no, it's not me.
It's not.
You know, and all that. But let's look at this big story. ADC ticket. Atiku rejects call to step down, blast Tinubu. What's your take on this ADC? We just had an ADC member.
But let's take this call. But let's take this call. Peter in Benue. Hello, good morning, Peter.
Oh, I think our phone lines today are a bit cracky. I mean, apologies to our callers. I will try as much as possible to pick your call immediately as soon as you call. So please try and call back, okay? Let's go to ADC. We're an ADC member.
Atiku rejects call to step down.
Yeah.
Then blast Tinubu. Was it Tinubu that asked him to step down? And why the blasting of Tinubu?
you know, President just did straight bullet touch.
Exactly.
You see, the way you can't understand politicians, and that's why I say a lot of followers are fat for them on the surface. I look at them and
what's really going on?
Sorry to butt in. There's a caller that calls us. He said he made a very, I'd say, golden statement that, do you know that even politicians are surprised that we believe them? They say, they believe us.
So when issues like this happen, it makes us to just laugh in the Japanese way. There are issues within the system. We all heard about the new sheriff in town joining ADC from Labour Party, and I listened to your guest this morning. Consolidation of LP, SDP. All the parties you can talk about, PDP and some people that are not pleased with APC coming to consolidate. Yeah, it's not new. APC of today, did that years back when AC with ABGA, with CPC consolidated themselves to see how to actually grab power from the center. So it's not new. But what is challenging to me is
talks of the former vice president. Where is it coming from? And on the world grounds, Nigeria is a democratic country. Anyone is free as long as you meet the legal requirements to seek the highest office in the land.
Yeah, the fact remains that a lot of us have said most of this leader in question do not have the interest of the citizen. It's about how to get that power
Personal
and fulfill
ambition.
their personal ambition. It's fulfilling their self-evidence to say, you can aspire to say, okay, one day I'll become the managing director of an international TV station. It's an aspiration, and you do everything possible. You can decide to move from one station to the other. You might end up to be MD, maybe of one small multimedia company. At least you've been able to fulfill.
At least they'll still be calling you MD.
MD when you go for meeting. The recognition may not be as much as that of international, but at least when they call all the MDs
from the international community
to come and have a talk,
and
you will definitely be invited to come to. So it's what we are seeing with some of these politicians. They have their ambition. They have things that they have within themselves to actually carry out. But it's funny if the internal crisis between ADC is being linked with the president to actually not to. I ask myself the question, is it that the current president too has moved to ADC that we don't know? Maybe the declaration will be made later. Otherwise, why not face the internal issue? Look for a way of resolving. If you are not stepping down, it's between you and your contemporaries within that particular
He's also saying
space.
it because recently we saw it was in the rumor mills and made the rounds on social media that he's stepping down for Peter Obi. So him making the statements is to clear the air and say, look, even in your dreams,
clear the air and not
this.
attach it to me, not
To the
attaching
president.
it to, even not the president, don't even attach it to Peter Obi that they claim that you are stepping down for. As far as this is your statement, let the people say, I, as an individual, I am still in the race until I declare or I intended to say, this is not the route. It's a personal thing, not attaching it to individual. That's why I said, even not to the same Peter Obi that they are claiming that you're stepping down for in the party. Make your statement known, and that's why a lot of our politicians is quite interesting. They link what is not to what it is and use that to actually, divert the attention of with the citizen for us to see the main thing that we're actually talking about.
All right. IG deploys newly promoted DIG and 17 CPs. We saw that story as well. And here you go, the big one, power drain, electricity subsidy nears 2 trillion naira yearly. And that's what we say, because you might pay 1.3 trillion naira for power in 6 months amid outages. Rising electricity subsidy sparks fresh fears, and then you wonder what's wrong in the sector. But that's not just all. The current minister in that sector, Honorable Minister Adelabu, is also vying for a seat in the Oyo State
He's interested in
elections.
being governor.
He wants to be a governor. And here you have a sector that you're managing, which is a very critical sector to the Nigerian economy, because without power, trust me, a lot of businesses, especially SMEs, which make up over, is it 80% of the Nigerian economy, will fold up. What's your take on, I mean, sorry that we have to go back to the power sector, but it's the biggest story.
Aside that being the biggest story, is a story that
What's your take on ministers that are distracted
going,
by their
I mean, we have 3 of them. I mentioned them yesterday.
Ambition.
Currently, Mohammed Ali Pate, the current Minister of Health, is being touted to vie for the seat of Bauchi State Governor. We have a camp that is drumming the support for him.
You just mentioned Adelabu, and then we have the FCT Minister,
the FCT Minister
who constitutionally cannot do a 3rd term, but is vying to ensure that Fubara does not return as governor.
Yeah, to this particular question, I think Mr. President needs to take a position. And this is where the committee set up by President on performance, headed by Adiza, I asked myself the question. I don't know, possibly a lot of people have seen the performance index of some of these ministers for us to even say whether it is right or wrong. A lot of us...
It would be nice to see the KPIs.
Yeah, you know, what were the set targets up till now after 2 years? Nothing in the public domain to give the rating of the performance of all the ministers that we have. And that's why I will not blame Adelabu for what he's doing, because...
He's also having his part with a profit.
He can decide to abandon his primary role and pursue his primary thing, his primary ambition, like we discussed with the other party. Otherwise, there is no how you can concentrate more on your primary assignment if you have that ambition, either gubernatorial, chairman of local government, even councillor. There are areas where you will intensify more.
What if he's good in multitasking? After all, he's a first-class graduate of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ilefe.
Multitasking in this kind of assignment.
And juggle both.
One must suffer for the other.
You can chew gum and walk at the same time.
It's very much possible, but not with politics. It's very much... do you know that every day you sleep and wake up, people are giving you information on how you will feel in that your political ambition, and you are running up and down? Is that where you have the mind of thinking about power sector that they are telling you that, in fact, if not for the paper coming up, I doubt if even the minister knows that we have. So there are two things, there are two parallel things that can never meet. You can multitask, I'm not disputing that fact. But not on this magnitude are you going to get that done.
The technicality of the power industry, the importance of it.
Why you not here when we discussed about his issue and the primates, talking about buying a trumpet? Didn't he make a comment on that? Why didn't he ignore that particular thing and say, no, my concentration is on power? But because that has to do with his ambition. So it's not possible. People can multitask, but not on this mileage are we going to have it. And it's quite key that Mr. President take a decisive decision on some of those ministers that have this particular ambition at the early stage. And I'm calling out even the minister, the committee, not FCT, the drama going on in Rivers is just the starting point. At the end of the whole thing, they will consolidate. It's with people that discuss them. They know how they meet behind the scene and see how to have their own settlement and move on. The one I'm calling out is the chairman of the committee set up by Mr. President on the performance of these ministers. Up to now, we don't have anything in the public domain that speak of what is the performance of the FCT minister, what is the performance of the power minister, what is the minister of the economy, the minister of finance and economy, those things. On the KPI you have actually set. And all we hear is that there are reforms that are going on. People are speaking to that to see how we can convince our citizens to do this. But we don't know what those ministers are actually doing. I think the president needs to actually come out clean and say, okay, we are starting the second half of our race, or this is the third year. We cannot actually move out. And if, based on what was said, it's very much possible you are working in line with what is said to you by your principal. Let us know. But as we speak, a lot of people are complaining about the economy. A lot of people are complaining about our health sector. A lot of people are complaining about the power sector, the education sector, a lot. And there are people assigned. It is the minister. So we want to see the KPI set for them. They may be meeting it. It's very much possible when you work in the banking sector. They can set a target of maybe 100,000 for you. And with your graphs, you even surpass it and meet 500,000. That means the set target for you is, far below what you can achieve. So maybe the set KPI for this minister, a lot of them are even performing beyond expectation.
And the interesting part is we're going to get into full political mood very soon. So that's why I told some people in the particular forum, Mr. President said we are going to run concurrently those other budgets till end of March.
Yes.
By 1st of April, the song in the atmosphere will change, and it will be more of political. So that's when you see people causing aspersion, casting aspersion on one another, why this will not be able to go, because at that point in time...
Let's hope we've matured as a democracy. Let's hope we have issue-based discussions that will address policies.
It will
and
be.
not
They will tell you.
personality
They will
fights.
tell you it's issue based. But you and I will see that it's more of personal.
The media will have to. We won't take those insults. We would make it issue.
You know,
work hard.
but I feel that Mr. President just need to assist the citizen. A lot of people will tell you that some of the reforms, some of the things that you're saying, people are out there believing that, okay, this will work. But the major people that earn their salary on delivering some of these things, what is the performance index of your rating there? We want that. We want on public domain where we can come here and say, okay, no, Tuji Ojo, it's the citizens that are raising, performance
I
of
also
some of
want
the
us
things that
to
we're
flip
doing.
it the other way. Now, I mean, it's easier to judge an incumbent government because they're in government and they've done some work, so you can use it as a benchmark. But how do you also scrutinize opposition that say, oh, we'll do better and promise to do better? How do you advise ordinary Nigerians to question them and also ask them to know if their intentions are really genuine? Because some of them just, anybody but APC, or let me just replace this person, it's my turn to eat.
Benga, I want people to go back to, the antecedents. When APC was to take power from PDP, we came with the mantra, change. Thinking
Change is
that,
coming.
Mr. Lai Mohammed was always on TV.
to make sure that we bring
they were all
change.
there.
And a lot of people would
That
tell
you're
you
paying
that
149 for fuel is too much.
it's
To dollar
too
that they will
much.
change.
We
They
will
will change
bring
that.
those things down. The question there is that a lot of people thought they've actually studied the process and they are bringing the change in. But we saw the change that every one of us, experienced. And people were asking, we did not ask, was it positive change
Exactly.
or negative change? But we
Because
saw
there
the
are
blank
different
check
types of-
of
but there
saying
was a change.
Indeed, there was a change for that 8 years. The 8 years came and we said, okay, we are going to, it is our turn to actually change the narrative.
To have a renewed hope.
A renewed hope. We know we let you down the first 8 years, but let's have our hope renewed. And a lot of people are asking questions. So that speaks volume to those that are outside. You see, a lot of, as far as I'm concerned, most of the people that have served us in one capacity or the other cannot be trusted with leadership. My personal view, I'll tell you to that. Because go and ask, what did they do?
By making
what
this
they are doing.
statement,
Yes.
you are inadvertently attacking the ADC.
I'm not attacking ADC.
Because the
Because
ADC
they have some
has
people who have served us before who have
in the
moved in
recent
there.
past.
Do you see how the same set of people too in APC? We have them too in PDP. We have them too in Labour. They've served one way or the other. How can you match somebody who has served as a governor in a state? That same state, he cannot reside there. How do you match that up?
You can't live there.
Some of them cannot even, after serving the country, cannot even stay in the country to continue after leaving office.
But some of them are also given ambassadorial appointments. Case in point, Mr. Okeze Ikpeazu, who did on national TV say that ShopRite is one of the dividends of democracy in this.
So where is ShopRite today?
In his state.
No, but where is ShopRite today? So if it's a dividend, we can see some of those organizations closing down. Over the weekend, I was at the one at the Keja Mall. It's no longer operating.
Yeah, closed down.
It's closed down. So
left the
why will
country.
somebody come out to now say that is one of the dividends?
He's an ambassador today.
So it's to tell you that they will come, look at opportunity that they can make for themselves, not for the citizen. As we
So if it's left to you, anybody that didn't perform and has held political appointment before
should not be when they speak.
a persona non grata.
Question show us some of those things. I'm not canvassing for anybody, but I will tell you that as an individual, if you call me out today, I will stand behind Fashola because I can see his antecedents. He's not a perfect man. When you come out with things not coming to tell us ShopRite is one of the dividends that you can boast of. That is what an individual like you and I will do. Is it not to get a franchise and mobilize people to get that done? What are the infrastructure that will assist the citizen to enhance their business deliverable in that state? Those are things we're saying. If we have to go by it right from the beginning of democracy, let me excuse our former president Obasanjo that was called upon to start the democracy. But the other ones that came and gave commitment of certain things that they would do to us, we've been looking at, in fact, a lot of people will tell you that the last administration is better than the new one. And that's what we've been saying since democracy. And that's a questionable thing that people, so when a lot of them come on here and say we can do it better, what did you do? Let me go spiritual, Benga, this morning. Bible said it. He who is not faithful in a little, you want to commit bigger tasks to them. So the fact remains that, can we have a fresh year? This is the same rhetorics that we hear from politicians because it's their core business. A lot of them do not even go back to those primary things that we know them to. Their main focus now is a profession that they all buy into. I'm waiting for the NUC to approve, even though we have a political science. That does not speak to this. We must have a core course, that speaks to politics itself, that you come out. These are things political that is actually denied. That's why a lot of people, is it not political? When you gather technocrats together, who has been in the other side, coming up with ideas, and all of a sudden we are looking at way politically to tweak certain things that will bring that change that we actually. So somebody is saying that, can we change the narrative of how we are doing things and let's have it in a fresh way? Somebody is saying that, no, that will not be. Let's go back to the rhetorics of doing. You can only say that with politicians. And that's
but I guess
my
we'll see. It's a penultimate year to a general election.
It has started
this year
already.
we'll know.
It has started already.
We'll know who the candidates are for the
political
elections and see if they can affect the change. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you.
It's always a great time, at least starting the new year with a great guy.
And I'm looking forward to teaming up with you on the golf course.
Not a problem. I challenge you, Benga, anytime, any day.
And after I beat you, I will now challenge Joe.
No, I think you should start with Joe.
Thank you.
He's on my
Start
level.
with Joe.
I don't even do golf.
Before you come to me.
Football and basketball, count me.
Because we'll discuss it on this.
And by the way, we're playing Algeria on Saturday.
Saturday?
Yes.
Quarterfinals.
What's your take? We're going to win.
Are you hopeful?
Yeah, well, I'm hopeful that because part of the things we put to the Super Eagles is that they should redeem
the lost World Cup qualification
and make sure that
by
they bring
winning
this
AFCON, exactly.
back to us by winning the AFCON.
We'll beat Algeria 3-0. I predicted it here first, so take note.
Okay,
thank you so much, and
Thank you.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.